What's going on, you guys? So essentially, the Las Vegas Raiders fell to the Arizona Cardinals yesterday or late last night, and there is a lot to take away from it. Obviously, there's also news coming out about the news of Aiden O'Connell, who's expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks with that wrist fracture. We'll get into that in another video, and what that could mean for the Raiders at the quarterback position. But we have to start off by covering the game last night. So we had a ton of standouts and fizzouts. Once again, welcome to our latest edition of standouts and fizzouts. Everybody's got their own edition of winners and losers, riders and fallers. Ours is standouts and fizzouts because of pop. I don't have any pop today because I just had my coffee, and so as a substitute for that, even though we think that pop should replace all water. And it should be the number one thing that we all drink or are forced to drink because it's the best thing since sliced bread. Yes, pop, soda. I don't care whatever you call it. I can see some of you in my comment section down below. I don't care whatever you call it. What kind of pop/soda do you drink down in the comment section? Let me know below. But anyway, let's jump right into it. So for the standouts, I think it really starts with Geno Smith, particularly that touchdown pass he threw to Thornton there early in the game. Geno Smith, 2 of 3 for 26 yards and a touchdown. This is a offense that's ready to go this year. I think that Geno might not necessarily be Patrick Mahomes, but I think he's going to be good this year. I think he's going to be really, really good. He's going to have a good running game. He's going to have a good head coach, a defense that hopefully doesn't let up 30 points a game. And I mean, Geno, that back shoulder throw was pretty good. Was very good, and so I'm really excited about what Geno Smith is going to bring. And I think that yesterday, that particular throw was something where if Aiden O'Connell's in that position, I don't know that he makes that throw. I'm just going to be honest. Speaking of Thornton, Dante Thornton Jr., 2 catches, 26 yards, and a touchdown. Time and time again showing that he is going to be a bigger part of this offense than we all thought. So that's going to be really good to see. Also, Max Crosby. I mean, what else can you say about the guy? Just came in and absolutely blew up that running play, and especially early in the game. And that's just what he's going to bring to you. Just Mad Max being Mad Max. The first team offensive line looked really, really good. Whether it was Zamir White or Ashton Jeanty for his 2 carries that the Raiders saving him for, which I get. But I mean, Zamir White running behind that offensive line. I mean, we were able to move the football. We were able to get those chunk plays in the middle, and be able to get first downs. That's big. Power running game right up the middle, and just kind of go from there. Love it. Zamir White also big time standout in my mind. Even though I do think that Raheem Mostert's probably going to be that guy, but I think that Zamir White made himself a case yesterday. 9 carries, 42 yards, and I would argue he had a little bit more pop than Raheem Mostert. That's just my opinion. But Zamir White looked really, really good yesterday, and I think that's going to be a sign of something to come to, that maybe he could sneak in a couple of carries a game. Might not be, a ton, but he might be able to be fighting there. Also, Malcolm Koonce. So I'm torn with Malcolm Koonce because he struggled in terms of the running game. That was that Carter 67-yard touchdown. It was him and Greedy Vance, who we'll get to here in a second. But that was rough. But other than that, he was constantly pressuring Clayton Tune, as well as he was solid. So he was solid in pass as a pass rusher. Run defense needs some work. We'll get to that a little bit later. Ian Thomas caught himself a pass, looked really, really good there. A couple of passes, 2 for 27 was Ian Thomas. And I know you got Michael Mayer. I know you got the stud Brock Bowers, but Ian Thomas might be that tight end number 3, at least fighting for it. Also, Greedy Vance had himself a sack, looked really, really good there on the defense side of the football. Had that sack, had that tackle for loss, read the screen perfectly. I would argue that Greedy Vance at least deserves to make the practice squad at the very least, maybe even being in touch with this cornerback room. Andre Carter II also was responsible for some big runs in there. Had that missed sack, but did have a sack there at the end. I think that although he did miss that, there is plenty to work with there from a pass rushing perspective. So I don't necessarily hate the fact if you did keep him around. Cody Lindenberg, 7 total tackles, had that sack. He's a tackling machine, but I don't know that he is going to be a long-term guy there in the middle for you. I think he's at least a very good special teamer, but he did show up and show out there in the last preseason game there against the Cardinals. I really like what I saw from Chris Smith II coming out and getting a sack, as well as, I just felt like he did a lot to be able to, warrant a roster spot. Also, Jonah Alalu had half a sack and 4 total tackles as well. So other than that, I felt like we saw some good things, and there's a lot to improve off of. And now for the fizz out. So I really felt like this was a game where Aiden O'Connell had to separate himself, and I just don't. And despite the fact with the injury, I know it's kind of moot. The point is moot at this point, but I don't know that he did that enough. But yes, Cam Miller also was a fizz out for me. 12 of 24, 102 yards. Like, he just did not stand in the pocket. He didn't deliver strikes. He was just too jittery, and I think that's going to come back to bite him. Also, Dylan Nalby. So I have stood on the table for Dylan L a lot of times throughout this entire thing, and to be honest with you, he just didn't do enough to wow me. When you look at his kickoff returns, when he was running the football, like as a running back, you have to have that extra burst. You have to be able to put that foot in the ground, and I didn't see him able to do that. So I don't know that he's going to necessarily make the roster. Defensively. I just think that the run defense needs a lot of work. No matter who it is. I didn't see enough from our pass rusher, or excuse me, our run defenders. 210 yards on the ground. 210. That's all you need to say. And so run defense was horrible. The second team offensive line, like, I will admit that Cam Miller did them no favors, but at the same time, they did him no favors. So it was kind of a 50-50 split there. So I think overall there were some guys definitely helped themselves out in making the roster and doing all that kind of stuff, but also penalties, but it is what it is. I think overall, like, the thing with the Raiders was that, penalties, 9 for 77 yards, you double the penalties of the Cardinals, you can't have that. And I just felt like even though you had the ball more than the Cardinals, your offense was inefficient. You were 4 of 14 on third down. Yes, you were 1 of 2 on fourth down, but you got to be able to convert more. Maybe that's a play calling thing, whatever it is. So, but overall, that is it. That is our latest edition of Standouts and Fizzouts for the Las Vegas Raiders against the Arizona Cardinals in the final preseason game of action for 2025. Let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and we'll see you on the next video.